Hi everyone, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and these are your September 2016 horoscopes. And what a month is coming for us. So many astrological events. It will be a really interesting prognosis and forecast because the energy is shifting in wonderful and in very different ways, and for some of them it will be a bit more difficult, for some of you it will be a bit easier. But we have two eclipses in Pisces and in Virgo. I'm going to speak in particular about them, how they're going to impact Pisces and Virgo. But we also are having Jupiter passing into Libra. So the whole energy of where our luck is coming from, where our biggest opportunities are coming from, is going to shift from September onwards, and will stay like that for the next 12 months. So actually I'm going to give you an insight into how the next 12 months, almost a year, will be, and where you can expect opportunities and growth in your life. And for those of you actually who want to know in depth how Jupiter in Libra will impact you specifically, you can order my 3-hour course that I did, which is about Jupiter in Libra. It teaches you step by step how to see how Jupiter will impact any kind of everything in your horoscope and what it means for you. It's a really insightful webinar. I'm putting a link for it here, and you'll learn how to see and understand Jupiter like a professional astrologer, even without any astrology knowledge. Also, Mercury is going retrograde, will be retrograde most of September. This is a big thing now. And in Virgo, and it's going to start moving direct towards the end of the month, in the last week of the month. And speaking about Mercury retrograde, I want to tell you that on the 1st of September, when Mercury has turned retrograde, I'm going to be doing a webinar just for $20 on retrograde planets in the birth horoscope, what they mean. These people have special mission that have retrograde planets. They are here with much more different, with kind of slightly different experience of the energies of planets than other people, with more specific and different outlook on life and mission in life. So those of you who want to find out about your retrograde planets and what they mean in your life and how they're going to manifest, you can, there is a link here to subscribe to my webinar, which will be on the 1st of September, Thursday. And I hope you enjoyed those predictions. They are full of amazing information. For Leos, September comes with a lot of focus on material and financial assets, because your second house, Leos, will be activated strongly by two very important events. The first one is a solar eclipse that is happening in your second house in Virgo, basically, for Leos. And it's happening at the start of September. Some of you might feel it the whole of August already. Some of you might have started feeling it already even from July. And it's going to be active for another 6 months after that, because the eclipse point, wherever it happens, it has a longer lasting influence, reverberating for a few months after the eclipse itself, usually culminating around the time of the eclipse as well. But the important events in regards to material assets can happen for you for another 4, 5, 6 months after the eclipse itself, after the 1st of September, basically. So what does it mean? And you've had before previous year and a half eclipses also in the second house. So it's kind of not fully new energy, but some Leos will feel it more directly, some not, depending on the degrees, depending when you're born. This needs more personal, examination of the horoscope. But definitely when there is an eclipse in the second house, finances, it makes you put your focus, it makes you not only focus, but mobilize your energy in regards to events connected to finances, to money. And this eclipse in particular, it's about new beginnings, because it's happening by the sun and the moon joining together, which means female, male joining together to create something new. And they're joined also by the north node of the moon. They're happening in the north node of the moon by Rahu, also known as Rahu, which is point of gain. So even if it removes something from your life, which is possessions, which is something you attach to, because second house is everything we're attached to, almost on a physical, visceral level. Like, is it possessions? Is it a sense of possession towards someone or something? Is it assets? Is it real bank accounts, money, or clothes, or anything which is a tangible asset? This eclipse can create a certain crisis financially for you, because usually, often eclipses tend to act through an outer crisis of some sort to bring your attention to that area of your life, or through some kind of an inner worry, inner apprehension, and inner kind of foreboding of some sort, so the person starts trying to make new beginnings in regards to finances. Maybe in the next 6-7 months, some of you Leo will find new sources of income, will find new sources of support financially, will find and create some more stability, or will transform and change the way the value they attach to certain objects, to certain possessions, to certain you know, because the second house is also your self-worth. How do you value yourself, your personal self-worth as well, and what value you put on other things in your life. So there might be some crisis in regards to how you value yourself, Leos, and in regards to how you know, because how you value yourself is reflected on what you attract in the material plan. That's why the second house, the deep meaning of the second house is not money and possessions, but it's my self-love. How do I value myself, my self-worth, in a sense, which is ruled by Venus, the planet of self-love. And if you don't have this one, now the eclipse, or if it's not built on a strong foundation, the eclipse can really make you aware about that for a few months following after that. And once you change and transform somehow, especially a new beginnings, which this eclipse is about, the way you value yourself, the way how worthy you consider yourself, this is immediately reflected on what you can attract and receive from others. You know, you have two women. One is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, but she does not value herself, she does not think she's deserving, and you have a very, you know, kind of a average looking woman that is really loves and respects herself, and she thinks she's worthy, and one receives all the attention and presence and security from men, while the other one, the really beautiful one, might not receive anything and end up always, you know, kind of feeling undesired in some way. This is the second house. You know, if you value yourself and your work, you'll also receive much more from the universe financially, as benefits, as assets, as possessions, as money. So that's what the eclipse is putting your attention on, and it's going to be active again, as I say, for quite a few months. And there will be some kind of a transmutation, which eclipses bring some kind of sudden, often a what's that called, like fated event almost, because eclipses are caused by the fated points, the karmic points of Rahu and Ketu. And this fated event, which can be some kind of crisis, some kind of awareness, some kind of a new beginning, some kind of a new opportunity, which you might be afraid initially to undertake, but this will lead you to more self-esteem, to more self-value, self-worth. Either you build it or it will come to you somehow naturally, which will, but first usually it's through some kind of crisis, which can lead eventually through change in your financial situation. And on the moment, the 11th, some of you will have to, you know, to let go of certain possessions and certain incomes so they can make space for newer, better ones, which will come to you over the next 6 months. Others can find, you know, some kind of financial crisis, or having to rearrange their finances in some way, or their possessions in some way as well, or their valuables in some way. And not only that, not only the eclipse triggers your second house, Leos, but also Mercury goes retrograde in your second house. And this Mercury retrograde is Mercury is really powerful in its sign Virgo. So this Mercury retrograde will have very beneficial results, which the results you're going to see by, I say, mid-October possibly, when Mercury is out of Virgo fully. And retrograde planet is also about re-budgeting, reinventing your finances, re-examining how you spend money. There might be some old expenses that come to you that you have to spend money on, that some old bills, for example, or you might have to re-plan, re-budget, because the retrograde planet is about redoing, preparing plan B, plan C. Maybe you have some business plan and you want to, you know, to invest, to sponsor it somehow, and now Mercury goes retrograde in your second house, and something falls through in regards to, you know, in regards to the resources you needed for that business or whatever, that venture. So you have to invent a second plan, or re-examine how to budget better so you can redistribute finances better, or assets better. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, it can be assets. It might be assets that, you know, kind of the materials you work with, the clothes, the possessions. Some of you, I've often seen when Mercury goes retrograde in the second house, for people it's like they can reconciliate, what's that called, rebudget in some way, like take money from one bank account, put it in another, remortgage in some way, so they can better manage their finances in some way, you know. and also work very hard with their skills and intelligence, which is Mercury, and with their logical mind on creating alternative financial methods and preparing. While Mercury is retrograde around the 22nd, 3rd of September, it's better for you, instead of starting brand new financial ventures, to actually prepare, to research about that. Often I've seen people like, before Mercury starts going retrograde or goes retrograde, they see their finances from a different point of view. You know, when Mercury is in the second house, they start saying, you know, I'm kind of actually seeing it, you know, that there is a different way I can finance, or I can bring sources or manage my resources in some way, or something to do with their self-worth, how to approach it, you know, valuables. And they research it, they investigate it, they kind of plan it, which is very good about Mercury retrograde, more in detail. And when Mercury starts moving direct, they have this new plan, and they go plan B or C, and they go in that direction, and you know, it can turn out very beneficial. Or you might just have to, you know, kind of work with some financial matters, solving documents, signing and stuff like that. And Mercury is doing a square aspect to Mars for a big part of its retrograde, so be careful not to spend suddenly on rash investments of some sort. But if expenses come, just be prepared mentally that they're more likely during this Mercury retrograde in your second house, but eventually those expenses can spur you for more efficient handling of your resources, finances and everything connected to the second house. Okay, so big focus there, you see. And there is, for you Leos, another eclipse which is happening also in the 8th house. It's happening midway into the month in September. The 8th house is again a financial house. So basically both the financial houses, the second of your own personal resources, and the 8th of other people's resources, things that come to you through others, whether it's through banks, whether it's through spouse, whether it's through business partner, whether it's through some loan or people that own you money, you know, or maybe it's through borrowing some resources, maybe borrowing the neighbor's, you know, lawnmower or something. This is what also will kind of require your attention with an eclipse happening there. There might be some kind of a culmination and conclusion and ending, maybe someone returning money to you, or maybe you being able to return money to someone, or you excluding someone from your life that is taking more than giving back, something like that, or someone excluding you if you've been taking more than giving. Some dynamics about the money you give and receive from others, and the mutual resources you have. Okay. And then another big thing that is happening, Leo, is that Jupiter is entering your 3rd house, and it's going to be there for the next 13 months, starting from September to October 2017. That's a huge shift of energy, Leos. Huge, huge shift. And it means wherever Jupiter goes, it allows you to expand that area of your life. It allows you to grow through inspiration, to receive clarity. Jupiter is divine wisdom, is divine, kind of like lighting a candle in a dark place. Jupiter is the teacher, the guru, so you kind of get clarity. And Jupiter goes into your 3rd house for 13 months, for 12 months. It means that there will be expansion in regards to communications, in regards to the contacts, your daily contacts. So there will be a much more increase in the inflow of people calling you, in people writing to you, in your Facebook, on your social media. If you're in anything to do with marketing, advertising, business, administrative work, the work increases. 3rd house is media, is communications, it's emailing, anyone in any work which is communicating, writing, speaking. There is expansion and increase of this flow of communication, information. I remember when Jupiter was transiting my 3rd house, I can give you a personal example. 3rd house is also learning new skills. I started learning much more complicated astrology methods, which I started using. And not only that, but I have to learn how to do videos, how to market, how to advertise, because 3rd house is new skills. I had to learn all those new skills, and I was excited about them, kind of, well, I had to do it, but it was coming more naturally to me, and my knowledge expanded, especially my practical knowledge, because 3rd house is this more logical, practical, skill-based knowledge that we have, rather than high-minded spiritual knowledge, you know. And Jupiter definitely expands that. You can improve on some skill. If you're a writer, you can become much more prolific. If you're a speaker, you can become much more prolific. If you're someone who is a PR, connecting people, contacts, maneuvering, planning, organizing, managing, Jupiter expands all those activities, and they give me more progress, you know. And this is when I started my Facebook as well, when Jupiter transited my third house. So it's kind of, I started connecting to people through social media, which is all the third house is about, connecting, about information, giving and receiving. I was giving a lot of free information out as well. I was also made my first website, my first successful website. Then Jupiter helped it. I had two before that, and they were not like there. And when Jupiter was in the third house is internet, websites, you know, information, giving, receiving. So Jupiter allowed all this to blossom. So if you're in any kind of such area, it's good for you. If you're in anything, travel might expand. You might have to travel. You can receive some benefits from traveling as well. You can, and these are not like short-term traveling, like for 1-2 weeks somewhere, not like relocating for a few months around the world or something, but short travel, maybe like going from one town to another. This all increases. And the life of siblings, relatives, networking with, you know, teammates, playmates, everything which the third house signifies as people in your everyday environment. You can benefit through cooperating with such, through making projects with such. If there is any problem in their life, or if you have any problem with those, Jupiter can help solve those issues. But you know, if you want to really know in depth how Jupiter will also affect you, because for you Leos, you might be Sun Leo, okay, Jupiter will be in your third house, but Jupiter might expect your Venus and bring you the love of your life now in 2017. The Jupiter might be, you know, kind of transiting your Saturn and create lots more security in you, or uplift your career, or bring your new house if it's trining your moon or transiting your moon. And this, how to find out exactly, I explain very much in depth in my Jupiter transit, Jupiter in Libra webinar, which is 3 hours. You don't need to know any astrology. You just need to have your chart from my website, and I walk you through step by step how to find exactly what Jupiter will affect, and I speak in depth about everything that Jupiter can affect in your chart. And on top of that, if you order that webinar, which is only $29, you personally write to me, you send me a chart, and I write back to you to tell you exactly what Jupiter will affect you, what transit Jupiter will affect, because it's not going to be only the third house. For everyone, it was going to be more than the third house. So you know what to expect in 2017, to grow, to expand, to have opportunities with. And I explain it in depth there. So thank you so much, Leo, for following me. Subscribe to me and follow my Facebook posts at Astrolada. And I will see you next month.